Are there no rules in cryptocurrency trading? Today is Monday, May 27th, 2019. In this episode, we're going to look at some obvious altcoin price manipulation in CLAM coin. Then I'm going to show you why I think cryptocurrencies are just about to go up 200, 300, 500% over the next couple months. Then we're going to go into the detail of documenting the step-by-step so that we have the objective evidence of the bull market starting out. If this is something that's interesting to you for your cryptocurrency trading, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. Be sure to subscribe, and if you're on this stream live, share this with other people so they can come and join us too. Now, in order to make the most of this educational live stream, be sure to download the free chapter from our website. There's a link in the description below, and I'll be sharing the spreadsheet in the chat here in a second. Before I do, let me put up the disclaimer to say that this isn't trading advice, just market observation, and we are following a specific trading plan that you can go and download from our website. Let's jump in. So you may know that we're doing the bull market watch, and I'll get to this stuff in a second. First of all, I want to jump right ahead to CLAM coin. Let's just blast right over to CLAM coin and talk about CLAM. Did anybody else in here who's following along now, coming into the chat, did anybody else get screwed over on this? We had one of the guys in our chat who lost a whack of money on that one. I'm just going to put this into the Discord chat. And then I'll be right with you. There we go. So this is murder chart. In our alerts, we did well on it. We got in out of this bottom formation right in here and then put our stop loss up where it was way back. Lots of room for the market to do its thing. Nowhere near expecting anything like this. And it's one of the reasons that I teach the 1, 2, 3 bottom formations, and that I'll talk about that, oh, this looks like it's going to go straight up, but I'm not buying into anything that's already taken off. I've been burned enough on enough of these things to get in on something that looks like it's just about to take off and go up out of a top formation, and it crashes way down. And this is always a risk, and it's part of the process of putting on a trade and setting up your stop losses, that even if you don't do it right completely, it's really important to be studying that process and breaking it down to really specific things to do at every different stage of the trade. And then you have to repeat it over and over and over again. If you were to take a pilot school and learn how to be a pilot, you would learn this stuff in the books, and you would repeat it over and over and over so that you knew exactly what to do and if an emergency comes up before you jump in the plane, before you go take that highly dangerous activity. And so it's the same thing with trading, though it seems so easy. Trading is not the same as technical analysis. There's a whole bunch of additional work to do. That's why we say in this that this isn't trading advice. This is just the tip of the iceberg when we're talking about what we're doing here in this stream. Heavy danger. So in this stream, what we're doing is we're following along with a simple trading plan. Then we're going through each of the markets on Poloniex, just as a nice sample of all of the world of cryptocurrencies. We go through it and we color code them. Are they an alert, like it's going to go up? Are they a hold, like they passed our trading signal according to this simple trading plan? Or did they already turn blue, like it's time to get out? Then there's these other range of orange and red. Those are the bearish ones that are breaking down below lows, and they are still on the downtrend, and they're not setting up for one of our trading signals. So by measuring this, the bullish and bearishness, we can get a ratio of all of these markets, plot it, and then we start to get an objective way of knowing, is the bull market here? We did this through January, well, since September till now, but from January through till the end of March was really great because we could just see that whole bull market unfold. And you can see it by the color coding here. where we've got the reds and oranges for going down. Then we've got the neutral. Then we've got a bunch of yellow and green saying that the market is almost going up and starting to go up. And on average, you can just see it, the whole cryptocurrency world turning bullish. And so by color coding it like this, it gives us a really easy way to view it. So right now, May 27th, we are coming from a very bearish for cryptos to a more neutral crypto sphere. And so I want to watch this and document it as we go through. Now, at the beginning, I said, I think that the cryptos are going to go up by 10 times. And I'll show you why I believe that. Let's get right to the good stuff. This is Bitcoin dominance chart from 2013. Although here's the good stuff. March to July of 2017. We know this was the major bull market in the alts. It took away a lot of dominance from Bitcoin as the alts surged up. And then we had the downtrend in alts, and they surged up again as Bitcoin topped out and pulled back. So Bitcoin dominance is now at 57%, and there's no support and resistance really between 57 and 71. So if Bitcoin dominance goes up, altcoins are going to get crushed by 10 times in value. However, if Bitcoin dominance comes back this way and altcoins, which, there's so many more of them, if that money gets spread out into more of the altcoins and Bitcoin is losing its dominance, then the altcoins are going to moon, and I'll show you why in the next chart. The next chart is altcoin market cap versus dominance. I haven't looked over to see the chat. Hey, Pothead, good to see you here. Let me know where in the world you're from. And if you find this kind of study, I don't know anybody else doing this stuff. That's why I'm doing it. I want to make tons of money off of these big moves. And so I'm doing these studies here with you guys so that you can help me along and benefit from it. Correct me where I'm wrong. I share my trading plan so you can go and download it so that you can follow along and point out where I'm missing it. Because I missed it here in 2017, right here in July of 2017. I should have sold all of my alts and put it all into Bitcoin, and it would have made double my money that I did in the cryptocurrencies. And so I'm really watching this carefully right now, and that's why I'm studying this like a crazy man. Should this chart go back up here, right, March to July of 2017, alts moon, they go like crazy, and this is the chart that shows how the alts have been going up. Then we see in the 2018 how they went up. And it gets more interesting when we start zooming into the 6-month view, and we start to see here the beginning of April 2019 until May 13th, 2019, just recently. All of the altcoins came back as Bitcoin went up. So if I go back to the Bitcoin dominance chart and bring that back to the 6-month view, so we're looking at the same time frame, you can see I've been studying the daylights out of this. As Bitcoin came to this dominance bottom here in March, April 1st, we saw the turnaround and Bitcoin dominance started to do ascending wedge triangles, building and then blasting and building, and it could be ready to blast right now. If it blasts right now, we are also going to see this market drop further out of this consolidation pattern. If Bitcoin dominance is going up, this is going down. They are opposite to each other. You can see Bitcoin dominance going up, exactly opposite. And so I'm watching this very closely, and I do believe that Bitcoin dominance is going to be dropping back right now, and I'll show you some charts why I believe it's going to be dropping back, and that altcoins are going to be springing up big time, and this is going to give us a 10 times or 5 to 10 times value increase in the alts as we go back up to these levels. And we have one of these big moves. Many of the alts are going to give us incredible gains as this happens. And then Bitcoin dominance is going to go from 57% all the way back down to, let's zoom out to the 1-year view, probably back down to the 44% range. So from here back to the 44% range. And as that happens, then the altcoins are going to moon. It's my theory. I don't know, of course. And here's where I base my theory on. some time ago, I did the big study of all of the coins on Poloniex. I went through and I took this simple trading plan. And I said, okay, let me go back and do back testing. If you were trading this plan and you didn't know anything about it and you were just doing the easiest way possible, and even some of the trades, the least favorable entries and exits. Let's take the worst case scenario of doing this plan and playing it through. So you can see here that from March to July of 2017, there was some 2,400% gains, 230% gains, 400%, 600%, 755%, lots of incredible gains. But I think the more relevant chart for us is when Bitcoin peaked in December 2017, and then it started to pull back, and we had these bounces from the alts taking off. And so I'm just going to open up a couple of them. And then go and see what they're telling us. And I'm just grabbing a random sample from this time period. And opening up quite a few of them. Then we can jump from chart to chart and see what they say. So as Bitcoin's topping out, right here, it's making a top formation back in 2017. All the alts had been squished down to long-term down, bottom formations. And they broke out of that with fervor. They absolutely blasted out of those formations. If we are in the same thing right now and Bitcoin is going to ease off a little bit, altcoins are going to step right up and the altcoin dominance is going to pick up. Bitcoin dominance, rather, is going to slide back. Let's go to the next chart and open this one up. So here again, we're coming down to some lows, and then they broke down to new lows and made a new bottom formation, and there was no warning. It just took right off from there, and up we went. It only lasted from December 16th to January 30th. So we only had 6 weeks of time to make all of this money. Here's another one. It doesn't have Bitcoin in the background, but here again, December 6th to January 23rd, and that's after the top formation when the exponential moving averages cross over. So right now, as we stand, we're seeing all these bottom formations, and this is what we're going to go through in the next part of the video, is to document those bottom formations that are shaping up right now. Because if Bitcoin is topping and pulling back from the move up it just did, and altcoins are making these bottom formations and breaking out, we're going to see it in those first two charts we looked at, and we'll see it in all of these alts as well. Bottom formations and a huge move up, November 21st to January 4th. So NXT was a little ahead of the other ones. This one was December 19th to February 16th. So they're not all on perfectly the same time, but these bottom formations and this huge move up really coordinated at the same time as Bitcoin's top in the background that we don't have in the background for this chart, unfortunately. But now we're starting to get a picture of why I'm thinking cryptos are going to be doing something like that. We've got historical prices of that same pattern occurring. We are in a position where Bitcoin dominance is at a support and resistance level that's really key. It's going to blast off and crush us all, or it's going to ease back and the alts are going to blast. And we're going to do sort of a ratchet movement or a leapfrog movement. Bitcoin moves up, then the altcoins move up, and then it's seesaw. And what I'm expecting to see, and what we'll have to see if this is true, is this will be blasting up out of this consolidation pattern. This is a bull flag after a capitulation low. That's what I'm theorizing. Hey, now I'll check the chart out. So moon time, good to see you here. Orange County, California. Beautiful area of the world. Evening, Van Frick, good to have you here. It's been a while. Yes, life is well for me. You got to keep your mind on what you want and not on what you don't want. That's the secret. If you watch The Secret, that is the secret. Yes, I still have bags of coin that are ready for the bull run. Some of them are still at a bit of a loss from when I bought into them, and I'm holding on. I know that in the long term, this is going to be a good plan. Now, Andrew Williams, I'm sorry. Good to have you here. I like old Don Williams music. Netherlands, good to have you here. Good. Along as well. Next, let's go through our analysis. So this is our main sheet. And I have the sheet open up above here that we'll take a look at, and I'll go through. So if you're interested in more of this kind of detail and you like this kind of study, you can go over to digitalcurrencytraders.com, sign up for the free chapter, get instant access to that so that you can learn more about this. And I said that I would share the link, the Google Doc, in our chat. Hey, Peter from the Netherlands. Good to have you along. Hey, Camille. Good to have you here. I appreciate that you think it's a great stream. It is very selfish of me to work on the stream this way because I really think it's going to help me make a ton of money and it's going to improve my own trading. So it's all win-win for me. And if you guys benefit, that's just phenomenal. I really believe in this trading system and I really believe in the small trader. It's the small habits that we put together on a daily basis that turn out to be bigger and bigger and bigger things. And so it's not the amount of money that we get, it's the percentage gain. And it's not the wins that we get, it's keeping small losses. Everything else will take care of itself. Even though it's been such a pain in the ass for the last 18 months trading cryptos, it's been a killer trying to do this bottom formation strategy because you get these little bottoms and a bit of a breakout and you got to get back out and you got to sit and wait and wait and wait for the bottom formation to shape up again. However, now we're at a perfect time where I think that as Bitcoin tops, the alts are going to be taking off and it's time to be really watching for these bottom formations. So now I'm going to start going through these. This is a live stream so that you guys can ask in the chat if you have a market you want me to go through. So I started off by talking about the CLAM coin and the obvious manipulation going on there. Obvious manipulation going on here. And unfortunately, you can see it starting way back here. This is where the first setup of it is, where somebody with a lot of more kahunas than I've got and a lot more dollars than I do is buying up this. This is a coin that I bet you if you did some research on how many wallets there are and how distributed it is, this coin is going to be concentrated in just a few owners that own all of it. Hundreds of Bitcoin worth of it. Because here when this dumped, it was 700 Bitcoin worth of trading volume in this period of time. And almost all of the trading volume was way down here at the lows where everybody's emergency stop losses were. Crazy amount of money changed hands here. And the manipulation tactic is more than I could possibly think of doing. But my conspiracy theory is that they buy most all of it. They have 100 Bitcoin that they can just keep as an order in the books. And they keep that order below the books, 100 Bitcoin worth of order. And everybody who's watching that big order book below the markets is going, wow, this has really got some support to this market. It's got a huge buy order book below it. And everybody's getting excited. They're watching it day after day after day, and it just keeps going. And then there becomes a day where they just take that big buy order away and they sell into everybody else that has been, and they're systematically doing it all the way up. It's beyond my training. It's beyond what I can understand or teach, but I did observe the same pattern going on through this period of time here, where I said, and I made a video about the altcoin manipulation, saying that's a strange pattern to see this great big buy wall just below this market, and it's up so high. Like it's not a big buy wall below a bottom formation where you would expect it. And then all hell broke loose, and down, down, down it went. Hey Jamie, good to have you along. Let me now jump ahead to OMG. OMG is going to be a similar story to most everything. We're inside this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It could be the very moment to buy. And when we zoom into all of these things in the short term, it could be the moment to buy. But according to the trading plan that we're studying here, we need to have 3 criteria for the buy signal to shape up. First of all, we have to have a break of the downtrend line. That's pretty easy. Then we have to have the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. So we've got the number 1, which is the lowest point in the downtrend, depending on the time frame you're in. Then prices come up and they come down, trying to test those lows again. As they fail that, this could be the number 3 point right here. We don't know yet. This could be the number 2 point. This could be the number 1 point. So we have we have the break of the downtrend line. We don't have the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation finishing up. And if I go out to the 12-hour time frame where this works, we don't have the exponential moving averages crossing over yet either. So this market, according to the simple trading plan, isn't a buy until prices get above this range, above this number 2 point. And there's a couple different ways you could approach buying into it. You could wait till it gets up here, and on the break of that level, you would buy. Or you could assume that there's going to be a fake out breakout and prices are going to come back. We don't know, and it's going to keep going down. And so I want to filter out these kind of fake outs that take off and then pull back and continue on down. They happen so often, we don't know what's going on with cryptos and Bitcoin. Cryptos could go down 10 times more. They could go up 10 times more. So if it breaks through and pulls back, but then starts to show strength off of this area, now I've filtered out one more bit of noise in the market. I'm not jumping in and out. I'm waiting for the market to change directions, and then waiting for it to prove it to me before I actually get in. So there's a few different ways of filtering this out as you're getting into this kind of trade. All right, my new Binance coin, Matic coin and seller. Matic coin, we didn't have a trade alert on for our trade alerts, but we did have a trade alert for seller coin. So I'll go over that. Matic, get rid of that. LMA. Matic is such a short time frame coin that it's hard to do technical analysis on it the way I like to do it. So it doesn't fit into anything on the 12-hour time frame, 12-hour bars. There just aren't enough bars of it to make any kind of pattern. There was a real huge move up, and then of course it pulled back. Could we see that top as it's unfolding? This is some of the things to pay attention to as the market is moving up. There are some things we're looking for, and no matter what time frame, you're looking for these same things on a top formation. We've got the 1, 2, 3 top formation shaping up here. Prices and up to the highest point. That's the number 1 point. They came down. They tried to go higher, but they couldn't. And then they came down. When it breaks this uptrend line of 3 or 4 points, that is one of the exit warning signals. When it crosses the 1, 2, 3 top formation, that is another exit warning signal. And when your exponential moving averages cross over on the 1 hour or the 4 hour time frame, that is your extra exit signal there. So this is such a short time frame that I always get killed trying to trade this kind of time frame. I really prefer to step back and just do smaller trades over a longer period of time, jumping in and out less. And I find I do far, far better. And I practiced a number of different trading methods for years to come down to the ones that filter out all the noise and get down to the simple stuff that really just works. So here, what's it going to do next? It's not a coin I can do anything with until it makes a 1, 2, 3 formation here. If it makes a 1, 2, 3 formation and starts to break above these levels, I'll want it to come back and retest. Come back and retest and bounce off. And maybe I'm getting in here. Maybe you've proven to me that you're continuing on this trend. There'll be enough of a straight line here that I could say that we are making that uptrend and it's continuing on. You know, it's got a long ways to go to build into something that I could buy into. And it's not something I would buy into because there are so many other coins that are in the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation down here that this is already gone. I don't even look at these coins. Once they're already gone, I've missed it. I'm going to look for something else that's down here. So seller actually is a better coin if you're looking at something that's short term. Let's go back to backwards alphabet reading. A, B, C, D. Seller. So here we go. There's our entry, the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. We got our entry, put our stop loss just above our entry, and then put your hands under your butt and wait. This kicked us out a little bit of a profit, but of course, could have done better with the profit, but then you have to spend more time watching it. This is the hands-off version of get a good entry and hold it. Okay, it came back. Now I don't mind because it gives me another chance to do another entry, especially since it's coming back and testing these areas. You'll see this pattern happening over and over again, especially with me talking about it. This is what I'm looking for. So here's our 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. Prices did come back and test it and showed strength. So we could have bought there and just followed up with your stop loss and you would have made a much better profit than I did. And then prices have come all the way back here, retesting these levels again for us. So a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation here breaks above these levels, give me places to be entering on this. And it lets me know that I'm at a really good historical support and resistance level. It's done some nice moves before, so I can start off again with a very small bit of my position. After it comes up here and starts to prove me correct and go stronger, then I can put on my full position and I'm ready to sit. And I'm ready then to sit and wait and see how correct I am. So that's how I would approach seller. And those are over on Binance. So if you're interested in more of the coins on Binance and having a study of all of these, not just with numbers and not just with commentary here, but with specific numbers of potential entries, exits, and potential stop losses for every single market on Binance, be sure to go over to the website and check out the crypto signals and alerts package. You can do the trial for 7 days for $1. There are so many, so many, who knows what kind of cryptocurrency stuff there is out there. So you get to do a full trial of this and then decide what you like if you want to continue on. And I'm happy to have a lot of the lifetime members in our community renewing without even being reminded. It's phenomenal. It really works. It's fantastic stuff. So now we're going to continue on through this stuff. I feathered my CLAM out, left with $15. Now I can buy back when the chart does a 1, 2, 3. Hey, ZK Dog, I'm leaving CLAM coin for dead. And instead, I'm going to look for some new technology that's actually going to radically transform some industry. And it's making a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. And CLAM coin, I'm just not paying it any time or attention now. It's been clobbered. It may do something, but then I'll be surprised by it. But anyway, what I want to do now is go through our spreadsheet so that we get the objective measure of exactly where these cryptocurrencies are. So what we're looking for is to give these things a color coding. If it is coming down to bottom formations and going lower, that's a fail. It's failing the bottom formation. It's not a market we can get our trading signal out of. If it's low like this and it's laying against these historical bottoms, that's a near fail. It's nearly failing down to new lows. Anything in between this bottom formation would turn into a neutral coin. If they're coming up and almost showing us all of those 3 trading criteria, then that turns into an alert. Once it passes those criteria, it turns into a hold. So then I can quickly go through these and color code them, and then we add those up at the end. So after all that, this is right now, it's a near fail, but it could turn into an alert or a neutral coin pretty quickly. If I start zooming in, that chart's a mess. Refresh that. If I zoom in on this, it's still got a long ways to go to build a bottom. It's three lows, which is great, but it's got to build a better bottom while I practice my alliteration. Here is Atom, which has got a nice RSI divergence. It is holding above this level over here, but it's got to pick up and do something and get this moving average to cross over before it can turn into much of anything. I'll leave it as neutral just because those last 2 candles are green on the 4-hour time frame. Basic attention token. As this was breaking here And we were identifying this top formation. The exponential moving average was crossing over. We had the top formation going on, and we were doing the live stream and talking about it. I was one guy asked about basic attention token. I said, well, you know, it just broke these levels. It's probably going to be weeks before we could do anything with that at all. And bang, 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 down it's coming. And it's been weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and it's still not set up into a nice bottom formation yet. So I have to mark it as a near fail. It's nearly failing to new lows. It's bounced up a little bit. Maybe it could turn into a neutral coin in a few days, but not right now. BCH ABC stays neutral. It's in between these bottoms and tops. It's not breaking out either direction. BCN, I do believe, stays as a fail because it's down to these lows at 11 Satoshi. What a sale price. I'm not buying any. BNT, Banker Network Token, and this is going to be, it's going to be a good system one day. It's a way to change between different Ethereum tokens without using an exchange. It's a unique way of doing fast transactions. I don't get it, but any way that you can do transactions between coins is going to be a good system once it's working. So I'll keep watching it, but right now I just look at the chart. It's a near fail. Bitcoin, of course, is still a hold because it's going parabolic. BitShares is also neutral. Let me get rid of this RSI underneath. This is neutral. It's a 1, 2, 3-ish formation, but it's still not finished and changed directions to say that it's going the other direction. So the best we can give it is neutral. CLAM coin, of course, look at that. We had that as a cold. That was because it already crashed last time I did this. So now it's a fail forever, probably. I'll bet you they delist it and take it off the exchange because and the Security and Exchange Commission is going to be called in to investigate that. That's just too huge to go quietly. And that big of a transaction is going to be traceable. That's all going to be tracked in there. Now, Civic Coin is shaping up nicely as well here on the 4-hour time frame. Let's look at the 12-hour time frame. Not as good yet. It is making a potential bottom, but it's got to shape up more. So neutral at best, maybe even a near fail. Yes, we can go over and check out Dent. Dent was one of the few coins that was actually going up as Bitcoin was going up. And it was a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation after a downtrend, but because it's so few Satoshi, this is a tough one. So it's going up percentage-wise pretty nicely, and it's got some great on-balance volume coming into it. So I do expect it's going to be going higher. You know, it could be hitting back up to the 30, 45 Satoshi level. Who knows? I don't know enough about it, but there's a nice bit of volume coming in. So that does give me the confidence to put on a small bit of a trade. Then if it was to come up to, say, 37 and pull back to 28 Satoshi and make a nice consolidation, then I would say I would put on my full trade and watch it for the next months as we're going up. The next 6 weeks, if we are going to be going into those moves that we saw here in December, January 2018, those took off and they just blasted. There was not much warning on these trades. They were in these long, slow moves, made a 1, 2, 3 bottom, and off it started to go as soon as Bitcoin topped. So there's no telling it afterwards, right? It's already taking off if Bitcoin's topped. This is something that we need to be prepared for in advance by studying this way, by getting ready, and then by looking at each one of these charts. So when I look at Dent, it immediately makes me think of a longer term perspective and the fact that Bitcoin is at this big parabolic move up. If we're going to see something like we saw back then, this is the setup for it. So I like that you brought up Dent. I appreciate that. Wojote Mali. Mali. All right, let's continue on. Wrong one. This one. Civic Coin, near fail. I put it as neutral, but I got to leave it neutral. Dash, where are you? Dash is inside this 1, 2, 3 bottom, so it's still neutral. It's made a big wide range in that 1, 2, 3 bottom, so that's a harder one to trade. I got to step out to a longer term time frame, wait for this exponential moving average to cross over, which means a smaller trade on a longer term time frame, smaller trade, wider stop losses to start off with. Decreed. Woo, still in a fail territory. Digibyte went to a cold fish. Okay, so we're being real skittish with this break of this top to say that that is a cold fish and time to get out. That's being pretty skittish because the exponential moving averages on the 4-hour time frame haven't crossed over. We haven't had this top formation actually break yet. But if you're being, depends on your entry on this, where this kind of exit would be. So Digibyte went from an alert to a cold fish. I'm going to put it back to an alert. And I would have to watch that video from last time to say, why did I make that a cold fish there? That's a little skittish. Okay, this is pulled back and it's still, I still have to mark it a near fail just because it's down near the number 3 point, near the number 1 point. I'm hoping it picks up. EOS we had as an alert last time, and now it's broken above that. So this is one of the first now that turns from an alert to a hold. And I love it. This is the kind of thing I want to see. As Bitcoin is doing its thing and the alts are starting to pick up this way, the more that are going from alert to hold, the better it is for all the alts overall. Ethereum Classic is still neutral. It's still in between that 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. Ethereum versus Bitcoin is also still neutral. This is a big range. That's difficult to do a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation out of this. And one of the key things, I'm going to switch charts over here, go to Bitfinex, and I'm going to bring up Ethereum versus US dollar. This confuses things, because in the long term of Ethereum versus US dollar, it's breaking out of this big, huge bottom formation and making some great gains. But Ethereum versus Bitcoin has pulled back quite a bit, because you can see Bitcoin in the background has made greater gains than Ethereum. I'm of the mind that as Bitcoin eases off a little bit, Ethereum is going to continue blasting up and catching up to what Bitcoin has done in its gains, my own thinking. And so I think that Bitcoin versus Ethereum is going to turn into a very different looking chart here right away. And I don't know when, but when it does, it makes some big moves. As Bitcoin eases off, I think this may really blast. It's not a 1, 2, 3 formation that looks very good right now. Like, it's difficult to trade this, but I'm going to put it as neutral. Factum. Okay, it doesn't have my arrows, but I lost some money on this trade. I bought some Factum here, and then I said, okay, this is not proving me correct, and I got out here, and it's pulled back more. So it wasn't proving me correct. I was expecting that this could be a top formation, and if it is, then Factum is going to go, but it's pulling back, so we'll continue watching this one. Hey, Ryu Kadima. Been in a meeting. Thanks for the update. I'll check in from the beginning, then you can watch it at double speed and I talk like a chipmunk. And so this is not a trading signal for Factum. It's still making this downtrend. It has to make a bottom formation before we can do anything in that. And it's going to be after Bitcoin tops, as far as I can think. And so in the spreadsheet, this is what it gets up to still as a fail. Foam was a near fail last time. Now it's neutral, back up to neutral. And it really could jump into an alert and a hold right away. This is a pretty crazy consolidation pattern over this last week and a half. It's not a nice 1, 2, 3 bottom, but it's really in the shape of a 1, 2, 3 bottom, just a lot more range in there. Game, I expect that to be a fail again, indeed. Gas is still a near fail. So let's update this one to a fail, and this is a near fail. I like it. It's got 3 three hits off this bottom here. That's really good, especially to see all of these coins holding their own for most of them. No new fails. Is that right? CLAM. But that's it. There's been no new things going from neutral to fail or from near fail to fail. That's awesome because Bitcoin's made a move up and these are holding their own. That is very bullish. GNT. Hey Dean, good to have you here. Yes, we're definitely getting to XRP. I think you'll have to hold on and I'll get down to XRP here in about 10 minutes or so. GNT, neutral. Grin, it's back to neutral. And this was another coin that we had a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation and had a buy signal in it. Then as the prices were above our entry, I moved our stop loss just above the entry to lock that in. Prices came back and kicked us out. Okay, stand back and watch it again. But the very beginning of a trade is the most dangerous moment there is. This is the highest risk thing. It's like taking a jet engine off a jet plane and taking off. That's the most dangerous time. As you're accelerating down the runway and you're gaining speed, you've got just split seconds to make a decision if you're going to take off or not if something goes wrong. So at the very beginning of a trade, it's the most dangerous. Be most careful, and then after it's proven you correct, you can take more risks and let it be wider ranges. But right at the beginning, this is so important. So I love having these examples of a real trade alert that went off and the results that came out of it afterwards. Alts will do well while Bitcoin corrects. Same thing happened at the beginning of the last bull market. So Dean, you and I are reading from the same page for sure. Because I'll just do a recap here. I was looking at the Bitcoin dominance over from 2017 in this big bull run of the alts. The Bitcoin dominance really suffered big time. And then in the next bull run, Bitcoin dominance really suffered big time. But in the first bull run, Bitcoin was going up as the altcoins were going up. And then in the middle of July, Bitcoin continued going up, but it crushed the alts. Then it turned around where Bitcoin was diving and the alts recovered after that. So there are different markets the way they set up, but we're in a similar market now to this where Bitcoin has gone up a lot and crushed the alts down. Now, if Bitcoin dominance pulls back, the alts are going to really moon. And we'll see that in this other chart called Altcoin market cap versus dominance. And it's the opposite to the Bitcoin dominance, where we can see the big bull markets here from March to July of 2017, December to January of 2018, and now from April 1st to May 13th, we see this pullback of the alts, a capitulation low, a bull flag, and I'm anticipating this is going to blast straight up, and the alts are going to go 200, 300, 400%. And I agree with you, Dean, and it's going to be exactly like what we saw from December to January 2018. There's only a couple weeks of time. Let's see what Lisk did in those 3 weeks of time. From December 18th to February 24th, we made this little wee bottom formation. It took from December 4th to December 15th. It was only a 2-week period there, and off we went. This is where we are right now, and that's why I'm watching these so closely and documenting everything so that I can go back and track it afterwards. That's the key, is to track the daylights out of it. Kyber Network Token. I love these big green candles under here. It is a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation that's shaping up. Maybe tomorrow it could be an alert, but right now it's just neutral. Library credits, I'm expecting, okay, I'm going to leave it as a fail, but it could be a near, like up to a near fail and later, but that's really sad. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation still in the neutral phase here. Very good. LPT, I was looking at this earlier, and that's gone to, still near fail. Still, it's gone to a lesser good measurement. I don't like any of those right now. I want them all to be picking up. This is as close to a fail as you can get there. Still a near fail. Oy, oy, oy. Litecoin turned to a hold in the last show because it broke above this 1, 2, 3 bottom, and it remains a hold. Beautiful. Made turned into a hold for the first time in a long time, and away it goes. It stays a hold. And Mana, I really think this is where I get into trouble trading, is when I really think the project is going to go somewhere. This is when I trade at the worst. So this is a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, but it's not ready yet. So neutral it is. Now, if we're going to see a pattern like we did in 2017, we're not going to have, this is our warning right now. This is our warning to be ready for that kind of takeoff. So now that you are here and you are seeing this, you are prepared. There's only 11 of us, 10 of us. We should be able to do well on this. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation shaping up here. It's neutral still. NMR is still neutral at best. Nothing fancy here. NXT was a fail last time and remains a fail this time. OMG is neutral last time. It stays in the neutral category. So not much change there. Omni was a fail for the last couple and remains a fail. Pascal was a fail the last time. Sure, it remains a fail now. Maybe it could go up to a near fail the next one. I don't know. Poly is actually making 3 hits off this bottom and not going lower. So that holds a near fail status. That's actually pretty good to hold that. Quantum was neutral last time. It stays neutral. I like this little tick of green. Still neutral though. We got to watch that for a bit. Rep was a fail last time and a fail this time. And I'm surprised by that actually. I thought it was not going to do that. Coin is setting up. So it's a near, well, okay, yeah, I'd say it's neutral. A little bit, 1 or 2 Satoshi lower, and it would be a near fail again. But it is having the potential to make a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation there now. SNT. Also remaining neutral. So this is good that we're not going more bearish, because Bitcoin just did a big run from the last time I did this review until this time. Bitcoin really moved up. And the alts are not really cracking down to new lows. So that is super important. Storage also neutral. And I know that a bunch of these neutrals are all going to turn to alerts and holds all at the same time. STR also neutral. These were all big red fails before. Here's another one. Holding on, Strat is holding the neutral status with those 3 higher lows, but it's still in between the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, so no signal there. Viacoin is a fail. It's down to new lows I was not expecting. And VTC. Holding on. I'm going to put it as a near. Okay, it was a near fail last time too. XEM as neutral. Still hanging on to neutral. This is a consolidation that if it starts to break above this, that could be a signal on its own right there. Especially since it's at these historical levels. Strength from there would be something. I will put it as neutral, but let's pay attention to that as a favorite. XMR, okay, neutral for now. This is a potential 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, but if it comes and breaks off of this and goes down, that's going to be a major sell signal. Here comes a fire truck. XPM is still a fail. Ripple is a potential 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, but it's still in between it. When we go and we take a look at Ripple XRP versus USD, it's a whole different story. This is a completely different story and really looks like a bottom formation that's building up to go somewhere. It's made insane gains in the past, and so having a small part of this in your portfolio is a good idea. I don't know if this is going to change the world, as some proponents say this is going to be so huge. It's going to go from this 50-cent value or whatever, 42-cent value, and it's going to go to over $4 and over $40 and over $400, which would be great. All you need is $10 of it. You sit on it, and it turns into $100, then into $1,000, then into $10,000, and you can almost buy a good car with that. So just a small investments in this stuff over a long period of time is pretty prudent thing to do, I'm thinking. Now, when we're comparing this against the price of Bitcoin, it's a whole different story because of the pressure of Bitcoin. So I can only trade the 1, 2, 3 bottoms and in a small trade. Right now it's neutral. And I do have Ripple that I'm just holding. It's a 5-year plan. Zcash is neutral and almost a near fail, and also the next one is neutral. Neutral. Now is the fun stuff where we get to do the chart update. Now when I update this and copy and paste the formula, then the chart is going to update here where the red and the green are going to change. Copy and paste, and the answer is they didn't change much. Neutral stayed much the same. Everything stayed much the same. There's not much difference in our charts here today. So at least we're staying the same and we're not going down. That's really important because Bitcoin just did such a big move upward. Where are we here now? Bitcoin just did such a big move up. Litecoin is setting itself up versus US dollar. Ethereum versus US dollar. Stellar versus US dollar. It seems to me that we are at the beginning of something enormous that we are not even, I believe we're not prepared for. Where all of us proponents are all so gung-ho and we're not prepared for what's coming. And here is the evidence of that we're not prepared. If you're holding, of course, you're going to do well, but I don't think we're even prepared to see what's going to come. It's going to be jaw-dropping. And this is one of the reasons that I say that is the volume of trading going on underneath the altcoin market cap here in the recent months. Through March, April, and May, the volume of trading in cryptocurrencies is insane compared to anything else in the past, and we're coming off of historical lows. And so I think that we are going to see exactly what we saw back in December, January 2018. And so to get prepared for that, we have to recognize these patterns. It's all pattern recognition. And recognizing these kind of patterns as prices come down to these lows just before the big move up here. So back in December of 2017, we didn't have much warning and things started to take off. And it was a really discouraging time because we had watched for so long through October and November these potential bottom formations, and then it got weak and dashed lower. It was a very discouraging time to trade. And for my own part, I just put my stuff on autopilot and turned my attention away for a couple weeks here after this downtrend. And it would have been a good time to not get all freaked out about prices being low, but stay prepared for these bottom formations. So this time, I'm hoping I'm going to do better than that by doing these videos on such a detailed basis and zooming in on what's going on with Bitcoin dominance here, really paying attention to what's going on, knowing the moments that the altcoins are switching from being followers to being leaders. And you guys can help me out with that as well. How long is this alt can last? 3 more years till the next BTC market? Why is 4-hour if trading plan is for the 12-hour? Great question, Mojo Tay. Let me pull over the main spreadsheet. Where is it? That's not it. Here it is. Binance closed trades. So after the alerts are run, every alert that is finished gets captured here so that we have the entry, we have our target and our stop, what our risk was going to be, and then the actual exit price, what the actual loss or profits are. And so you can see there's a lot of small little profits, a lot of small little wins here, and all of them are trading the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation on the 4-hour time frame, except for a couple. All of these trades are super highly risky, and when we go and take a look at any of these closed trades afterwards, you can see it's making this potential 1, 2, 3, and you try to get in there early so that you're making the best trades, but there's so many fake out breakouts at this time frame that it's easy to get washed out. No matter how careful you are, it's easy to get washed out. So here's a couple trades where we got 0.33% profit on this APPC trade. And this is an example of I got into the trade. I moved my stop loss above just above the entry, and then wait. So the prices went way up. Put my stop loss there. Went off, did other things. Came back and kicked me out. Oh darn! Now I've got to watch and try it again. So the 1, 2, 3 bottoms in the 4-hour time frame get you tagged into these things over and over and over again. Let's go look at APPC now in real time over on Binance. Binance, APPC. There's probably there we go. There's the entry and the exit right there. There's an earlier entry and exit right there. These charts never forget. So when we're looking at the 12-hour time frame, we have the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. We have the break of the downtrend line, but we didn't have the exponential moving average crossover. And so there's no reacting to this spike. You don't take action on it. It filters out those kind of things. So you just don't spend any time on them. This is just a wave coming up the beach. It's not the tide changing directions yet. And so by trading on the 12-hour time frame, you save yourself a whole bunch of those small losses and a whole bunch of time managing these trades on such a small time frame. The bitch is that if you're trading the 12-hour time frame, there's no profits at all to be made all the way along here. This whole thing is just a killer for this trading system. It doesn't work at all on all of this time frame. Only when it makes the bottom formation and starts to go up, then this trading system absolutely cleans up. So it's really important to know when to get in and when to get out. When this trading system has run its course, it's making the top formation, it's time to get out of that trade. It's making the top formation no matter what you think, it's time to get out of that trade. All of these different times, it's making the top formation no matter what you think. You got to take that top formation and get out of that trade and practice getting in, getting out. And then overall, with the cryptos making this bottom formation, we know that there are going to be enormous profits. $10 is going to turn into 50. 50 is going to turn into 500. There's going to be crazy profits made if it's anything like it's been in the past history. It's amazing. So this is why when I go back to the live chat and I answer the question again, why the 4-hour is trading instead of the 12-hour. So the 12-hour is to filter out all that crap. And if you go back over the historical charts, it just works so often. And also the 12-hour lets the markets range around quite a bit before the exponential moving averages cross over. So in a longer term trend, this will keep you in the market for letting some of that wild stuff go by without kicking you out. And this is debatable. We'll have to watch that over time to tune it. And how long is this altcoin market can last? 3 more years till the next BTC market? There's no way to know, of course. But if we go and we go to Bitcoin, where do I have Bitcoin? Five-year view of Bitcoin. And pull back to the last bull run, it's crazy. Look how long this bull run lasted. From, I say September 24th, because that's when I bought my Bitcoin here. September the 24th, 2015, I bought 2.5 Bitcoin right there and was so happy with it because it immediately took off and proved me correct. I was so happy to be able to take that 2.5 Bitcoin and later sell it at about $750 each. I thought I was just such a genius. I sold right here at this super double top. I thought I was the smartest guy there was. I bought and sold since then, but that was a great trade. I took that money and went to Brazil. It was a great trip. No worries on that. But, Bitcoin went up from September the 24th, 2015 until December of 2017. So that was 2 years, a year and a bit, 18 months that Bitcoin went up pretty much. And altcoins, if we go back to this Bitcoin dominance and look at the 5-year view, we had an altcoin bull run that was really big from March to July of 2017, 3 months. And then we had an altcoin bull run here for 6 weeks. Everything else has been downtrend and a little bit of movement. A little bit of movement here. We haven't had a big, long, extended altcoin run yet. Certainly not with the institutions involved. And I think that we are in for it. I think that we are in for 18 months of long, slow, up-moving cryptocurrency prices. And there's no way to know, of course. All that stuff is just conjecture and preparing for that possibility, ensuring myself that I'm going to profit. You know the old saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Now, Bitcoin has fooled us all, let's say, once, because we didn't buy $100 worth of Bitcoin in 2011 and then just sit on it and do nothing. Or in 2013 or 2015, buy, $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. It would have been 4 Bitcoin, and then you sit and do nothing, and you're doing fantastic now. So I don't want to get fooled by the altcoins. I want to have a little bit of all of them, and I want to sit on them and do nothing. I want to lend them out and let them grow, find other ways to make Bitcoin and grow my Bitcoin holdings so that in the long term, I'm not going to miss out on those coins that are going from 15 cents each now to $15 to $150 to $1,500 in the next 5 to 10 years. And we're going to see it. Let's zoom in now to see what's going on with Bitcoin. Kind of a top formation. Ethereum, US dollar. Litecoin, US dollar. Oh, they're all going up. And Stellar, US dollar. All still building and ready to go higher. They're still accumulating. Huge. Huge. And versus Bitcoin, what's Ethereum is getting squished down as Bitcoin is going higher. So that would say that the Bitcoin dominance is picking up. Stellar is holding its own a little bit. Litecoin is picking up against Bitcoin. And I'm expecting to see the altcoins picking up and going up with Bitcoin now. As Bitcoin goes up, the altcoins are going to continue up. And that means that Ethereum, Stellar, and Litecoin are going to be going up faster than Bitcoin. Faster than Bitcoin. And we're going to see that in our 2 main charts. We started off with the Bitcoin dominance chart. When I zoom in on the 5-day view, the 3-month view here, we'll see what this chart ends up doing as it's coming out of this consolidation. Huge. And this chart as well. If this is blasting up, we know altcoins are taking off and we're into a huge altcoin market like we saw there in 2018. Let me now go back to what's going on in the charts. I am glad you like the information. It's a small group of us here, and I hope it grows over time. I think it's going to, no matter when you come and follow this stuff, it's great information. But to find it as it's actually happening is going to help us all make those moves into the cryptos just as this is changing from the neutral market to the bull market. We can just step right in. I'm loving it. Well, if you hold 0 Bitcoin right now, I recommend it for sure. Well, right now I have a good amount of Bitcoin compared to altcoins, and I'm still waiting because the altcoins are, like as we see here, they're neutral. They haven't changed the corner yet, and I got to go back here. Not there. Too many. Okay, this is a real chart. I did this analogy last stream as well, but the mathematics are important and I want to go over it again. We know we had that big run up from March of 2017 until July of 2017. So here's the bottom just before that run up. And we can see that altcoins did a nice little bull run here. They pulled up. They were looking so fantastic. Then they hit this top formation, exponential moving average crossover, 1, 2, 3 top formation, time to get out. And we've just seen the alts do that. Then all the way down here, there was a time where it looked like Bitcoin was making a top formation and alts were making a bottom. Looked fantastic. Bitcoin made a big run up here. It looked another one. Looks like another one, a potential bottom formation. All the way along here, it looks like potential bottom formations. And I don't want to be holding on to the altcoins when they're in a downtrend. We have the exponential moving averages. Red line is above the green, so it's staying down. This is down. When those are still spread apart, we're going down more. And all through that time, and all through this, not through this time, yes, certainly through all this time, I probably held my alts and was sweating as I was expecting them to go up. But for certain, after this bull run, and I was doing so pleased, I was so happy here, in the summer of 2017, I held all of my alts. And every time Bitcoin made a potential for a top formation right in here, I thought the alts were going to turn around and continue their bull run. And then Bitcoin would continue to go. Then it would made another top formation here, and I was holding all of my alts, thinking that they were making a bottom formation because they're opposite to each other. Bitcoin topping, altcoins bottoming, but they are still going down. The exponential moving averages haven't crossed over. It's not time to make a decision into alts. I should have not been holding my alts. And down they went, and Bitcoin kept going up, and my altcoins would make this great looking bottom formation shaping up here as Bitcoin's making a potential top formation. And then finally things turned around for a short period of time there, and only for a few weeks did altcoins come up. And so if the trend is this way, I want to know that. And right now our spreadsheet is not telling us that the trend has changed. We're not seeing this go into greens and yellows yet. We saw that from January through February into the middle of February. We saw a whole bunch of them all changing, and you can see the change of color. It's easy to then start phasing into the. Right now, I'm still holding a good amount of Bitcoin, a good amount of alts too. I'm a holder. But it's not time to take the rest of my Bitcoin and pour it in there yet. I'm still watching and waiting. And I'm making videos on using the actual alerts from our alerts system. So I'm taking these actual trading alerts and I'm trading them for real. And I'm making a video showing exactly how I'm getting into them, how I'm selecting them. And right now, there's nothing to get into. I've got Bitcoin and I'm making this video. It's taking some time. There's no buys that I'm acting on yet in it right now. Watching all of this stuff. I want to wait for the tide to change and then get in, not jump in on the waves and have to jump out and jump in. And I don't do as well that way. So let me finish up with the chat here. EOS has big stuff coming June 1st. This is great. This is one of the reasons I like doing this stream as well, because I pick up information I wouldn't have known before. I have EOS. I've been watching EOS. Going on with this, and here's our 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It was an alert in our system, and so it is now tagged as a hold in our trading system because it's broken above this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. After it's come out of these historical levels back to these levels, a phenomenal place to be looking for that 1, 2, 3 bottom. Great trade right there. Are you aware of the 4-year market cycle? I don't think cryptos are old enough to have any kind of 4-year market cycle. And if there is a 4-year market cycle, it's going to show us what the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. I am really biased toward it, but I see it happening absolutely everywhere the market changes directions. So if there is a cycle, it's going to make a 1, 2, 3 top formation or a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. And I won't get too fussy chasing all sorts of other methods when I know this one works. I just got to know when to work it. There we go. Nice and cleaned up now. Very good. The psych saying EOS to 100 in the future. I'm game for all of them. You know, I've got a little bit of all of them. I really want to have a $20 worth of this, $20 worth of that. And if it goes to $1,000 afterwards in some time, oh, wow. You know, it's just insane the amounts of money that are going to be made in all of these cryptos. The money pouring in, as we see with this altcoin trade volume going in for altcoin market cap, is phenomenal, unprecedented. We just have no idea. Bob Lucas. Sure, will do. Anyway, that about wraps it up here for today. I'm going to get ready for a great yoga class this evening, and I hope you guys all have a fantastic experience with your cryptocurrency trading. Good luck in your cryptos. Hopefully you make tons of profits and you keep your losses nice and small. Let's zoom into the one-day view of Bitcoin and see what's going on right now. And I'll sign off and see you guys over on our Discord chat. That's it for this time. Cheers. All the best.